Welcome everybody to another Thursday night. I got to get a better opening pitch, but Alan, your photo's up and running. Go and tell us what we're seeing.
Okay. Well, Archie invited me to share some rodeo photography, so I'll walk you through a little bit about how I got started in this and sort of the way things run. So this was the first picture that really got me started from back in 2017. At this rodeo, I met one of the local association photographers, and she took a look at the back of my camera and said, "You should join the association and start shooting with us next year." So I did. When you do that, you have to start dressing like this. Mm-hmm. You have to learn how to climb fence panels. It helps if you have a belt attachment for your camera. Sometimes you have to do more than climb. Sometimes you have to run. A friend of mine gave me these couple of photos here. He was shooting across and captured me. Sometimes you're standing in grass up to your knees or mud or whatever. A lot of times you're doing a lot of squatting or kneeling.
Where was this?
This particular one was in Brookville. But I'm going to cover lots of different locations, and I'll probably go through these fairly quickly. Maybe we can come back if we need to get into some real detail, but I'm going to basically go through the sequence of a rodeo starting from the just before it starts all the way through all the events and then kind of circle back.
Can you tell us how you got not so much started, but what your interest in this was? In other words, how did you do that?
I was in the photography club over in Mount Lebanon. And was talking to some of the photographers there. One guy shot a lot of high school rodeos and had talked to him about it. And shortly thereafter saw the TV advertisement for the rodeo at North Washington, which is just up around Butler. And after I started shooting it, I found out it's the largest one on the East Coast. So it runs for 5 days. So with that, that's how I got started. It was sort of a challenge. I had been to rodeos as a kid, had no idea they were located in the Northeast, and there's one every other weekend and all throughout the summer. After I shot my second year, I earned the Photographer of the Year. It was the nice rodeo belt buckle I've still got to get a belt for. But it's kind of hard to wear that in your utility belt for the camera at the same time. So.
That could get in the way.
It really can. Let's see. Where I work when I do these, I'm going to show a couple of different arenas. This one is gigantic. So you have to change your shooting position for different events based on where the action is most likely to flow from and to. They'll switch ends of the arena. Because of the just administration of keeping the show going, keeping animals in one end ready for the next event while you're currently running an event on the far end. So that makes the photographers and the judges, the announcers all have to move around a lot. Here's another arena. This one I say has the best soil conditions in Pennsylvania. To fall on that's like falling on a cushion, except when it rains. And we'll see that later. This is one in Ford City. We're looking from the end where they usually start the bulls and the bucking broncs. From this end, on the far end is where they would run the animals that you would rope. This is North Washington from the top of the parking lot hill. This was the arena they used last year in Charlottesville, PA for the finals rodeo. That one has since been turned into a large warehouse property. I think UPS and FedEx and those people were building warehouses out there left and right. It's right off of 81, so it's easy highway access. Again, now on this one, we're looking from the opposite end of what we had seen in the other arena. The little blue chute you see in the middle of the screen at the bottom is where they would have calves and steers that they would turn loose out into the arena. This keeps them pointed right out into the middle. Whereas on the far end, those doors would open out like this. That's where you would put the bulls and the horses, and they take off in pretty much any direction. The boxes on either side of the little blue cage where you see the two guys on horseback there is where the ropers would start their runs from. Always handy to have the fire department come by and wet down the arena if it's dusty. It sure is a huge help. This is up in North Washington. They, of course, had a much larger truck. Sometimes Mother Nature gets involved and she can be a little heavy-handed at times. It's turned into more like a canoe event.
Rain or shine, huh?
Absolutely. So before the rodeo starts, I get to hang out with all the best people from royalty to clergy or cowboy church. Then moving on from there, there's usually some type of opening event involving flags and drill teams that come in and do processions in various formations and stuff. Not quite as advanced as the Ohio State marching band, but it's nice to watch. Very colorful. Always a lot of flags involved, at least one. Always some young lady to hold the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. Sometimes they let the cowboys get involved. This was a youth rodeo group that went out and brought the flags in. I think they were doing a Veterans Day celebration that particular week. This is the one with the good dirt. It's over in McVeigh, if anybody's familiar with that area over near State College. And then they start the events. Usually starts on the bucking end. And first up's usually saddle broncs. With these, there is, the bareback broncs is what this one is. So as you can see, there's no saddle. What the guy's holding with one hand looks like a suitcase handle. That's all he's allowed to hold on to. The other hand can't touch himself or the horse, or he loses points or gets disqualified. The bucking events, as well as the bull rides, you have to stay on the animal for 8 seconds to qualify. And other things that count are the motion of the horse and all that sort of stuff.
His mouth and the eyes are amazing on that last shot.
Yeah. That particular horse, I liked his
yeah, look at his
very
teeth.
unique eyes. Very unique eyes and great coloration on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, these horses know what their job is.
Oh, yeah. So here's another fellow. This was up in Brookville. And if you'll notice by the horse's head, the two young guys by the fence, it's fun when you can catch the audience reaction. I mean, these guys are just watching like, oh, man, I could do that. Until he does this number. So usually on the saddle bronc and the barebacks, I will shoot from outside the fence because they go all over the place. And as quick as they move, it's hard to get out of the way sometimes.
How often do you have to clean your lens?
It depends. If it's really dusty, sometimes I'll go between events and blow it off. That usually will suffice. So unless I get water or mud splashed or something like that, I'm usually pretty good with just the blower.
Alan, this back strap, is that what makes them buck?
That is a bucking strap, and it does not pinch, bind, or hurt. It's just something that's unnatural, and yes, it does cause the horse to buck quite a bit. You can see it's well padded. That's that nice fleecy looking stuff under the bottom, and they usually powder them up with baby powder. It's usually one of the junior ranch hands that gets that job.
Ooh.
Of powdering those things before they put them on.
It's beautiful.
And I just happened to catch the guy's chaps had flown up at like wings coming up.
I love the expression of the two guys behind the horse. If you go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, these two guys.
Right.
It's fabulous.
They're saying he's going down.
Ah,
Let's see. Here you can kind of get a sort of a look at the front strap there and where the guy's holding on to it. Like I said, it looks just like a suitcase handle.
That looks like the thing they had in Urban Cowboy for the bull that the people would ride.
Yeah.
They're a lot of they cinch up on that hook, and that's it. They got to hang on.
All they've got.
They have spurs on, Alan.
They do. And there's rules and regulations on how they have to move freely and be dull.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of money spent on the animals in these events, and the owners want to make sure they're ready for the next week.
So the animals travel from place to place?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like a traveling road show that has lots of moving parts. There's stock contractors, there's announcers, there's the acts and whatnot, and it's not all one company.
Do they travel as a pack, as a show?
Not always, but
No?
you see ones that work together frequently in a particular area.
I was assuming you see the same horses in different places.
Yeah. Yeah. And then at the end of the year, in addition to the contestants being awarded Rider of the Year, Roper of the Year, whatever, they have Bucking Horse of the Year, Bull of the Year, that sort of thing. So you'll see them at the finals rodeos. So here's our, I think this is the last one I have for the barebacks. So this guy is turned right toward me. You get a good shot where he's holding on with the hand, how he's all taped up, facial expressions. And I think he just found out that he won.
all right.
He was a little excited.
So these horses, Alan, if you take that strap off of them, they're docile and easily ridden?
More so, but I wouldn't call them docile by any means. One of the, I think we're coming to this in a second here. Let's see. One of the guys on these, they call pickup men, they're the ones that help get the people off of the horses that aren't bucked off.
Uh-huh.
So if you complete your ride and the horn blows, they'll come alongside you and help you off and let you down on the ground.
Wow.
Some of the horses they use are old bucking horses. And I was at a rodeo year before last, I think, and one of the guys was riding one of these, used to be bucking Broncos, and he forgot that he was now a pickup man horse, and he took off down. He said, "Did you get pictures of that?" I said, "No, I was running for the fence getting out of your way."
That's quite the look on this middle horse there, too.
Yeah, yeah. The eye on that horse was phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't think they always appreciate being in such close proximity and running beside another bucking animal. Now this one, you can see the horse on the left has a saddle. So that's the next event I was going to cover coming up. So this guy's getting a lift off. Once they get the rider off, they go and pull that bucking strap. They hit the buckle on the strap to cut it loose, calms the animal down somewhat, and then they head it back toward the gate so it can get back into the holding pens.
Does it take them a long time to get that horse off the arena?
Not usually. They're once they have the strap off, they're looking for the exit where they can go rest, relax, get something to eat, have a nice cool drink. So they know where the door is.
They're trained. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, don't these horses only work one event a week?
Yeah. That's it. You don't see the same horse over and over and over.
So they work like 30 seconds.
Right.
A week.
Yep.
Do they train them? Do they train them to do this? So do they have practice bucking sessions or something?
Now that part I've not taken part in. I have heard of, and I have not been to a bull bucking clinic where they actually put a weighted box on the bull to simulate a rider. Plus they have things like bells on them and the bucking straps, and they do train them to a degree. Let's see. Next up, this is the saddle bronc riding. So you see there is a saddle attached, but here the handhold is different. Again, it's only one hand. You get to use this large, usually a braided rope, And again, it's a one-handed hold.
So hand strength is important.
Absolutely. And these guys look like football players when you see the sleeves come up on their hand that they hold with. Most of them are taped from the shoulder down to about the middle of the forearm. So you get a better shot at the rope there.
That's a cool shot.
This one, it was nice isolation on the rider. The people in the back are out of focus. When the animal moves over close to the crowd, you lose some of your separations. So you take what you can get.
Right. It's like football.
Yes. Here again was the finals rodeo in the rain last year. Lots of splashes.
So where was the finals? Okay.
Charlottesville, PA. It's out north of Harrisburg.
So that's for the state finals.
It was the association finals for the American Professional Rodeo Association. They cover most of the Northeast and slightly over into the Midwest. The other association I shoot for is called the International Professional Rodeo Association, and they're pretty much nationwide, but it's mostly like Texas north and then over to the East Coast.
Are you shooting for them exclusively, or
No.
are these?
No, I have to be a member to be allowed to shoot.
Okay, but the photos belong to you, and then they choose. You sell them the photos, or the ones they choose.
Right. Yeah. I'm a member of the association to be allowed to shoot and sell pictures.
Uh-huh.
And the pictures are mine.
Okay.
To sell.
Do these guys buy your photos?
Yes. Currently, I do have contestant customers as well as a couple of magazines.
Great.
That's always a bonus.
What's that?
That's always a bonus.
Oh, yes.
When that mailbox money comes.
Right. So here's, I included this one, not the greatest shot in the world, but it shows there's usually two judges, one on either side of the arena, so they can catch, like, are the person's feet in the right place, or do they touch with their hand when they're not supposed to? If the animal switches positions, they got somebody to cover both sides. And when I do shoot any of the bucking events, I will stand on this side fence here, usually around the judge. I'm very cautious when I do that, though, because I've had one near miss. Not quite like Shelley being run over by the football player, but.
No, not a football player. Lamar Jackson.
I'm sure it would be.
I think the horse would hurt worse, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he won't apologize.
Whoa.
Yeah, he didn't.
There's another one flying to the
Oh,
air.
that's beautiful.
That's really cool.
What aperture? What are you shooting at? What lens are you?
Depending on time of day,
Mhm.
most of the ones in this area start late afternoon.
Mhm.
The rodeo events in our area, lots of them are associated with some type of fundraiser, either a chamber of commerce, fire department, whatever. So in order to generate income, they want to have as many customers around as possible. So most of these start after people's normal quitting time. So they're usually 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
Summertime, it's not too bad. You start off, your apertures can tighten up a little bit, so you can get a little better focus over a wider range. But much after dusk, I'm shooting wide open, and I shoot as fast as I can to stop the action. I'll raise the ISO up as high as I can without getting incredible noise, but sometimes I'll try and fix that in post.
And are you using like a 400 millimeter? I mean, obviously not this one, but generally you 400 millimeter, 600. What are you shooting?
No, actually, let's see. We'll pause right here for a second. This is a good place to stop. Let me cover this one thing here. So I think this is my last saddle bronc picture. This guy had finished his run. You can see on the side, it may be covered if you see people's pictures on the side. The pickup man's about to grab him off his horse. The clown was on the fence next to me, getting a high five, and I happened to turn around just in time to see what was going on and snap a picture. So that was incredibly lucky. Equipment. I'm usually shooting a Nikon D4S 70-200 f2.8 lens. That's my primary thing to shoot with.
Which lens? Sorry,
The 70-200.
70-200.
Wow,
And-
I thought that'd be
The
closer.
size of these arenas, I can usually get close enough to the action that I did try shooting with a 300 last year,
Too much lens.
and I found that if
You
people
miss a lot.
toward me, it would overfill the field of view.
So you're on continuous shooting? How many frames?
It depends. I try not to be a total machine gun freak, but I will a lot of times we'll come to the barrel races. That's when I usually shoot on the high frames per second, but I'm only squeezing it for just an instant.
Okay.
I know about where they're going to be, and I want to catch them as they're coming around the barrel, and it's just for a split second. So, plus
Really good.
at the end of the night, a normal show where they do all the events, I'm looking anywhere from 900 to 1,500 shots to go through when I get home.
Mhm.
So I try to stay off of the trigger as much as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
But as I was telling Archie, once you get into nighttime where they turn on the lights, in the different stadiums, you have different color light bulbs in the same arena. You have lights that fluctuate up and down in brightness.
How are you managing that?
A lot go in the wastebasket. Other ones,
Heck with the almighty.
yeah. If I get where the light's going up and down, sometimes you can see like half of the frame is almost dark and the other half is perfectly exposed. I'll usually pull a filter across in Lightroom and just raise the brightness on half of the screen. Pull a graduated filter across it, and then if it's a different color light, I'll change the tint same way.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a good way to work with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just by experimentation.
This is really nice.
You ever shoot black and white?
Always. I don't usually in digital. I usually don't pull them over to black and white, but I understand that is another way to fix if you have weird colors.
Yeah, I mean that would definitely eliminate some of your issue at night.
Yep.
And the contrast is great too.
Yep.
That's a great shot, by the way.
Love that.
This is moving on to the next event. Let's see, steer wrestling. So this is on the other end of the arena from the bucking stop. This is where they're releasing them out of the chute and then the animals taking off. In this one, if you remember back where we looked at the arena where the two cowboys were in the boxes beside the chute, in this one, the guy on the left-hand side of the screen with the red scarf is a hazer. His job is not to touch the steer whatsoever, but to kind of keep it going in a straight line. They sort of pinch it between the two horses, and then the rider on the right-hand side then jumps off, grabs the steer by the horns, and his job is to lay the animal over on its side.
Oh, jeez.
I heard it described when I was young going to rodeos. They said, imagine driving down the street in a pickup doing about 30 miles an hour and tackling a mailbox. That's pretty much what.
No, thanks.
They usually have the brutes in this event.
How many guys get broken bones at these events?
Yeah, I was gonna.
I have only seen a couple of times where people were hauled off in the ambulance.
Huh.
Most of them get up and limp off because they're in another event in an hour. Or they're in another event, another state, and they're putting their horse in the trailer and taking off. It's kind of like NASCAR in that regard. These guys come in, they try and get points here, and then they're on to the next rodeo.
Wow.
Some do multiple events in any one rodeo, and other ones are just single event people.
Oh, that's so cool.
Let's see. Another guy came off the horse.
He's not a youngster.
No, there's all ages in this. I was very surprised. This guy's also one of the judges,
Okay.
but they can, if they're not judging this event, they can participate.
And he's a
They
good guy.
split things up into different weight classes or age classes, or everybody's competing against everybody else.
Yeah, everybody against everybody else. Yeah. The only thing that there is any delineation in is they will let junior bull riders come in, but I don't think they're riding for points in the association. I think they're running for practice.
This isn't the one where they tie the legs up, is it?
No, this one's just a straight, you lay them over on the side.
Uh-huh. Is there a time factor in it?
Yes. So in this event, you're going for the shortest amount of time. So once the animal leaves the chute, it releases a rope in front of the rider. Once that rope falls, the rider can take off and chase after the animal. If you break the rope, you're assessed, I think it's a 10-second penalty. So that added on top of your time, you're way behind from the get-go.
Beautiful.
I think this was one of the shots with the 300 last year. And
That
you
has
can
a
pretty much tell what time it is if he was wearing a watch. This is the photo they selected for the Photographer of the Year competition last year.
That's great.
Oh, that's great.
There's one more guy. Now you know why cowboy boots are so expensive.
Boy, that's a great pick.
Go through a lot. Thank you. On to the
Like
next.
he's having trouble with that one, though.
What's that?
Looked like he was having trouble getting that guy down.
He was. But he was throwing up a lot of dirt, so he enjoyed the picture. The next event coming up is, let's see, tie-down roping, or some people call it calf roping. So the animals here are smaller. So you just have one rider coming out, one calf to go after. This one is a quick sequence showing this kid's run. So you see he's not very far out of the box. He's already got the rope out on target around the neck. He's giving it a quick pull to close the loop. Now he's giving a little slack in the line because the calf keeps running. So at some point he's going to come to a quick stop. Just real quick, the guy in the far left hand with the pink rope around his neck was the one who had the calf in the chute ready to go for the door to pop open. That's this kid's brother. So it's interesting, the families and relatives that you run into in these events. It's all associated. Again, just coming off of the horse, keeping his eye on the calf up ahead. He's got the little rope in his teeth. That's what he uses to tie the feet up with. So he next will throw it over, wrap that string around 3 legs. They have to stay tied together for 5 seconds.
This is quite an education.
All right.
He was a little pumped.
This is quite an
Great
education.
job. Great job.
Yeah, if you haven't seen one of these, it's nuts.
They're great.
It's so much fun. It's the people are all great. Everybody talks to everybody. It's just a lot of fun.
I lived in Calgary for several years, and of course we have the Calgary Stampede, and it never got old.
Yeah, haven't made it that far out west.
I've done the Tuba City Navajo Rodeo. It was pretty interesting. A lot of women participate in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're coming up to some women's events here soon. This is another one of the judges. This guy watches when he lets them know when the calf is tied up and if he stays tied for the 5 seconds. If so, you get the flag dropped. If you don't, you get it waved off. So the kid we watched earlier run through his sequence, this is his father at a different rodeo, same event. The horses are just such an integral part of this too, because they have to maintain a little pull back on the calf without actually sliding it across the dirt, just to keep it in place. This was the brother that was in the chute later on that week. And you can see here, your camera, your shooting position, depending on where you can shoot in a particular arena, most times the action will go where you think it will go, and other times you're on the wrong side. This one, they just happen to be running right at me, so worked out pretty nice. They don't always have good weather. I shot for about 10 or 15 minutes after this was when I was out shooting with the senior photographer from the association. And she said, I can't get focus anymore. It's too foggy and raining. What do you say we go? So that was the end of that night. This was the finals rodeo last year. It was just
Wow. Look at that rain. Oh my God.
Do you position yourself across, like in front of the chute or on the side?
For this, I tried to be on one side about halfway down the arena.
Okay.
That gives them a little running room to get toward me, and hopefully I can try and keep everything in focus at that point. If they run by the side, you're going to miss part of the action. Due to the length of the rope, the calf's going to be off frame or whatever. So
The best case scenario is they're coming straight at you, right?
Yeah. Or just a slight angle. Yeah. But about 30 degrees to the action is where you want to be.
But if, like you say, it's all happenstance. You're either in the right place or the wrong place.
Right. Some of the guys catch the calf right out of the chute. Other ones chase it around the arena for a while, so you no telling where it comes down at. So. Here's another one. This place was extremely dusty. This was a rodeo associated with a local fair. And
made a great picture, though. There's a lot of dust. Looks good.
Oh, yeah. Sun was coming in right behind us. So this guy was... Sometimes the weather's perfect. The ground's perfect. Everything's just right. You get nice separation when you're shot. And then here's just a close-up of the guy, another guy tying his calf up.
Oh.
Next, a lot of fun to shoot.
What's that?
Looks like a lot of fun to shoot.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. The next event coming up is the ladies' version of the calf roping. They don't have to get off the horse and tie the calf up. You'll notice on the lady's right leg, there's what appears to be a pillowcase almost. That's a flag. It's tied to the horn of her saddle with a small piece of twine. As soon as the animal pulls hard enough, it breaks, comes loose, and that's what ends her time. So that's what they're shooting for. Again, this was one where I was at the side, so you can see the calf was already out of shot. This is the judge that's watching the end. So he's on one side of the fence. As you can see from here, these people are coming up the arena. So if I'm on this side, most of them are right-handed. That's where they're going to be throwing the rope from. So I'll be able to see from this side. If I was on the other side of the arena, I would miss all the shots. So I usually stand in front of or behind the judge, depending on how they like it. Here's another one, nice loop of the rope when the thing came loose, flags in the middle of the air. This was a tiny arena. It was actually set up in a baseball field of a local community park.
That would have been fun to play on after.
Watch where you step.
Yeah. And sometimes it kind of comes together. People are separated out where you'd like them to be. Next up, on roping events, they have the tag team or the team roping. So one guy catches the head, pulls it around. The other guy comes in behind, grabs the hind legs.
Wow, that's got to be tough.
Yeah. Everybody in the same plane, everything's in focus, and I got everybody in the same shot. It's like they posed it. Here's the team ropers waiting their turn in line. Imagine what.
Everybody has a uniform on.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the rules for the association. All Western attire. Nobody in baseball caps or cutoff shirts or judges. Anybody inside the arena. Western attire, you go home. Just another couple of shots. So in different lighting and how the people are lined up different. Here you can see the calves in focus. Both cowboys are a little soft. It's getting a little dark. This one's not too bad, middle of the daytime.
How do they get the rope around the animal's legs?
Take a quick look at the rope, and it's not just because of the frozen frame. I've handled those ropes. They're stiff. they're not like, it's not like a clothesline or rope you'd go buy in the hardware store that you hold it and it droops in the middle. These things are very stiff. So when they throw them out, they can put that loop on the ground in a spot and then just
Oh, okay. Then they pull up.
right up to grab this. Yeah.
Aren't they soaked in wax or something like that?
I don't know. Some of them have like a plastic type material in them.
Yeah, I thought they were like soaked in paraffin.
Yeah. As part of being an association member, we get the Rodeo News magazine, which is one of the magazines I sell to. And there's constantly ads on the latest and greatest ropes. And you see the fancy green glove the guy's got on the left, roping gloves. Here's the guy's, the header has got the calf's head and has turned it so the guy in the back can get a good shot, and you see the dirt flying up. So that was, and so you got the header and the heeler going after the steer. Right between those two, the guy with the dark blue shirt and the red Wrangler on his sleeve, that's the announcer on horseback. And then the guy in the white horse right behind the cow is the one of the judges. So you kind of got everybody in one shot there.
So you got everybody in the shot there.
It might not be a wall hanger, but it may be one that one of those people go, yeah, I was there. Or I was there.
Everybody in this picture wants this picture.
Right.
Is this more of a panorama, Alan, or just cropped?
Just cropped. Just cropped. Then we get on to the entertainers. So usually between the roping and the bucking and all that, they need a little time for intermission, sell a little popcorn, ice cream, hot dogs, cowboy hats, bull whips, all that kind of stuff at the concession stands and the vendors' stands. The clowns are out all the time, keeping the crowd pumped up.
But aren't they there for the safety, like for getting the animal's attention, to draw the attention off the rider so they don't get gored or stampeded? And then run to their barrel?
Sometimes, yes. I was going to come to that in a few minutes.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine. But you see with the bright colored clothes and the big handkerchiefs and stuff and whatnot, these guys are not only there for the crowd, they are usually also called barrel men, and they'll come out during the bull riding. And they'll be the ones in those big barrels that you can jump in the middle of. And they will help the bullfighters distract the bull when the rider comes off so it can get back in the pen without running over the rider. But this guy is, well, he's a real clown.
They're super athletes.
What's that?
They're super athletes.
Oh, they are. You saw him standing on that fence up there?
Oh,
So he's got his leg hooked around. There's one bar that comes up about middle of his calf there. But I've seen him go over those fences like it was an acrobat act. Just run to the fence and throw your feet over and land on the other side. You're absolutely. The baggy clothes do not tell the whole tale and what's going on there. A lot of the announcers are on horseback, so they can go from one end to the other, and they kind of help keep things rolling along too. Trick riders, it's hard enough staying in a saddle, and these girls are hanging off all sides of the horses. Just imagine the core strength and the shoulders, and I'd be in the hospital for a week. This lady's riding barefoot on two horses. They call that Roman riding. They also have other acts, lots of roping acts. Here's Roman riding over fire.
Wow. Wow.
And this lady takes it to, she has, you can see the third head of the horse between the other two horses' heads there. She's got three going across.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's tough enough shooting fire, but getting fire in motion and all that at one time, I worked on this one for a couple of years with her act. So.
Yeah. And no light to boot.
And no light to boot.
Yeah. Where's my little buddy Lickety Split?
always goofing around. So part of the act was, can you find the place to brand the bull or whatever? So they got him while he was looking.
Oh my God.
Dragging the ground. Yeah, but you're right there. The hoops are going right by your head and your hands.
Oh my God.
And I don't know what this guy was drinking, but something went through the bagpipes.
Very cool.
I've seen this at a couple of places, and it's just amazing.
Don't inhale.
Yeah.
He's the guy that does the Darth Vader on the unicycle.
Yeah.
While riding with flaming bagpipes.
I've seen that.
Another one of the acts, they do a little jousting things. Another rope guy.
So do these entertainment things vary from place to place, I assume, right?
Yes, they do. So pretty much you have you have a committee that schedules everything, and then they start bringing in the parts. The next major part, you're stock contracted with most of the animals. Let's see. Then you have your entertainers, you have your pickup men, your bullfighters, your acts, and your clowns. So it's quite an event.
How long does it go on, Alan?
What's that?
How long does a typical rodeo last?
Let's see. It usually runs about an hour and a half.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're bouncing back and forth from one end to the other. So they have
much longer than that.
One event, they're staging the next one. As soon as that one's done, the acts know when they're supposed to come out. They run around the arena a few times. They have another event. Intermission, they come in, set barrels up. The ladies do the barrel races. They haul those off. They start riding the bulls, and sometimes you have fireworks after.
I would have thought of it much longer than that.
Well, the Calgary Stampede's a whole week. So I guess they have multiple, they'll have a whole day or maybe just a whole afternoon of one event.
This guy had his horse-cycle along that night.
This guy
had his horse-cycle along.
These things are,
bangers.
they're loaded with cornball jokes.
Oh, if you want to hear all the dad jokes, you just go to one of these rodeos.
Yeah, whatever political party is out and whatever cornball joke.
Yeah. I guess this guy was around for the submarine races. This was the big rainstorm at the finals last year. And he wanted to keep the bullfighters dry. Well, at least one of them. He was dripping on the other guy. They have a big time. Getting toward the end of the week there. This was one of the last runs around the arena. Even the dummy needed CPR. So shooting from inside the arena so you do have to keep an eye on what's going on. It helps to keep keep in contact with these people before the start of the day. They'll let you know something's going to explode. You want to be standing on this side, not that side, where you can see that kind of stuff.
So they give you a heads up about all this.
Yeah, they're hoping to get a good picture too. So it helps.
That's cool.
The next ladies event is barrel racing. They have 3 barrels placed in the middle of the arena in a pattern. They come in, they go around one, over the other side, around that one, to the back of the arena, around that one, and then back out. And they can either go left, right, center, or right, left, center, and back out. Their time starts when they come in, it ends when they go out.
Alan, I have a true confession.
Yes.
When I first moved away from home, I begged for about a year to get a horse, and I really wanted to be a barrel racer. So
Not too late.
What?
It's not too late.
Yeah.
Oh,
it looks like
at night,
fun.
You have to go with where the light is. And like I said, sometimes it's kind of going up and down, but you find the one where you got the best chance and you shoot from there.
That's
That
nice.
one looks nice with the light coming from both sides.
Yeah.
What's that?
That one turned out nice with the light coming from both sides.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But it's got great direction.
Yeah.
That almost
And-
looks like a strobe.
Yeah.
I have used strobe at a couple of events,
Mm.
but not for any of the horseback stuff, just for the bull riding.
Yeah, I mean, would they allow you to put something on one of the gates and, be set up in a certain direction that?
Yes. I have asked around. Sometimes it's better sometimes to ask than to beg for forgiveness, because you find some
Fair.
barrel racer who's some young girl comes out and you don't want daddy chasing you around the arena because you made the horse throw her off.
Mhm.
You do not want to be in that situation.
This was available light, right? This is what was there.
Yeah, this was just stadium lights, whatever they had. Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty damn nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Again, it's just a balance of trying to eliminate as much noise as possible, freezing the motion as much as you can. I have not tried. I've seen some people that try and do some intentional camera movement type shots, but I haven't done those yet.
So what are you using for noise reduction?
Sliders in Lightroom.
Okay.
I forget. It's like luminance.
Mm-hmm.
There's luminance and color.
Luminance, yeah.
The luminance slider takes most of it out. That, and then sometimes I'll take the shadows down, and that eliminates a lot of it.
Okay.
If the rider is lit up and the background is anywhere close to shadow, that'll take care of a bunch of it also.
You look pretty low in that last one too. Are you kind of bouncing up and down the grates as you shoot, or you have a comfortable spot?
Actually, on these, I'm about, let's see, probably 25 feet from that barrel. I'll pick one side or the other, and I'll get in a position where I can catch them coming around, and I will zoom my camera out to catch them there, and then I'll quickly switch to the other side and zoom back in. Most of the riders come in and go to the right and then come over to the left. And so I'll pre-position the zoom.
So this is a men and women's event, and there doesn't seem like this would be an event where it would be any disadvantage to be a woman.
This is primarily a women's event. Actually, they refer to it as cowgirl barrel racing.
I see.
So yeah, this was another rainy night in, I believe that was in Brookville,
Georgia.
This was out in Charlottesville. There's a huge puddle right beside the left-hand barrel.
Oh, what did you get?
Actually, I was not in there for that one. I picked a position outside the arena for those. I was just off to one side in a section of the audience section that was unoccupied.
Yeah, I could just picture those horses going down.
It happens occasionally, and you'd be surprised when they just jump right up.
Yeah, I mean, in that mud, I can just, it's because it's not like they have spikes.
Right.
Look at that angle. That's
Yeah.
just astonishing.
This is when it all comes together.
Look at the rider's face. The rider's face is awesome.
Weather was perfect. Horse was turned right. Rider was turned right. It's just got absolutely outstanding color. The background is plenty colorful. I mean, look, the horse has even got pink socks on. What more can you ask for?
I think the rider's face makes the shot.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Look at that
And
eye.
not only the rider's face, but the angle of the horse. I mean, it's amazing that the horse is upright, almost.
When you see them do this, you don't believe how fast they go around these barrels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
I'd have to see that. I've never seen one of those.
Put it on the calendar next year in August. It's usually around
It's
the
pretty
middle of
amazing.
August. North Washington.
Amazing.
North Washington has the largest rodeo east of the Mississippi. It runs for 5 days. It's usually Tuesday through Saturday, about mid-August.
I've been by that arena a million times and never went.
45-minute drive. Fantastic.
I've been to that arena a lot and always went.
Bring a raincoat.
So Alan, can someone just show up and take photographs? Like, could you show up with your students if you had a class and shoot a rodeo, or do you need to have a special permit? How do they control that?
The general rule is non-association members are not supposed to shoot and attempt to sell any photos at a rodeo.
But you could shoot and not sell.
That being said, the way I got my start was I showed up, I went and knelt down by the fence, stayed out of the way so that other paying customers could see, and I stayed out of the way. If you show up with 10 or 15 people and they're all lined up and people
Yeah.
can't get by, you're going to get chased back into the stands. If a couple of people go because there's people shooting all around.
Right.
Boyfriends, girlfriends with iPhones or with whatever cameras are staked out in positions. When their person is up, they come out and take pictures. Other people just come out for the fun of it, like I did to get started.
Okay.
But if you want to shoot inside the arena, behind the chutes, be able to climb on the fences, that kind of stuff, you have to be an association member or they will run you out.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, if you come in, you'd be amazed the kind of shots you can get from the stands.
Yeah.
But yeah, come down by the fence, squat down so people can see past you. You run across the occasional flying horse. Or two. Actually, I think I got 4 that day.
Mr. Mybridge.
Yeah.
Actually, on one of those bucking Broncos, you got one with a pretty high vertical leap.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing what they can do. That's all I can say. It's just amazing some of the things you see. Then you move to the main event. This is what they hold till the end. This keeps everybody in their seats. This is what people come to see. The bull riders, again, they swing the door out to the side. The bull and the rider come out. You have to hang on for 8 seconds. You get points for how much the bull bucks as well as meeting the time limit. Plus, you can't touch anything with your offhand. Sometimes it's dusty, and it just the cow saliva flying. It's tough to hang on. You'll notice the guys in the colored outfits. These are the bullfighters. The guy gets in trouble, falls off, and his hands get stuck in the wrapping.
Oh, that's ugly.
That's happens more than you think, but they're there for the rescue. Animal completely off the ground. I mean, you take something that's 2,000 pounds up in the air like that. It's a sight to behold.
Ooh.
Flying through the air.
What do they weigh, Alan?
What's that?
What do they weigh?
Oh, they're a good 2,000 pounds.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a lot of bull.
That's a lot of bull.
Yeah, the bulls are mean.
And they have the bucking strap on also, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want a bull to date your daughter.
No. But it's amazing. Sometimes when the rider comes off, some of the bulls will go right back to the gate where they know to go out, and other ones will run all over the place like they own the place. You just again, it helps to know the people with the company that brought the animals. They can give you a tip off. Hey, when that big light colored one comes out with a spot or with the one horn turned up and one down, that's when you need to be close to the fence because you want to be able to get out of the way. He owns the place. This is one of the junior bull riding events. Bullfighter here helps them off so they don't have to hit the ground. This is the bullfighters helping some of the big boys. This guy was having a moment there by the fence. I think he twisted an ankle or something coming down. But they'll try and deflect the bull, get him away from the rider so the rider can get out of the way. There's usually 2 bullfighters. One will usually try and get the rider out of the way, and the other one will try and distract the bull.
Are these bulls fixed?
No.
No.
We can go back through the shots and you can see.
I don't want any part of that. That looks just too damn dangerous.
Well, if it wasn't dangerous, more people would do it.
Yeah. But, so the other thing, I keep my eye out for just interesting things in and around the arena, on the property. So I use this one for my announcements for when the pictures were coming out. Another one, I kind of grabbed this, used it.
Great idea.
Found a similar font and color.
Alan, how do you let people know where to see these pictures?
I carry cards. I keep them in a Ziploc bag in my pocket. And when people say, have you got a card, I hand it to them. I have seen other photographers will post where you come in and sign up for the events and pay your money. They'll put the little tear strips on a sheet,
Uh-huh.
or they'll have business cards tacked up to a board close.
I don't check. You don't have a website that they can go
No,
look at.
I do. So I have a Facebook page. I will send some courtesy photos into the association. Like I'll pick one from an event and have the picture, and then have my web address along with it, and they'll post those up to help us out. It helps them out too.
Yeah, sure.
Go to your website. I sell the contestant photos in SmugMug, and that's so simple. It's like having a 24-hour-a-day, 365-day-a-week employee with no health benefits to pay. They color correct my pictures. They ship them out. I track them. Every so often, they'll send me some money. So that's the part I like. Helps me get back out there. Other times, I'll take some offhand action shot and just throw up some text. Another thing I like to do is I'll find some pictures, just something a little different. I made this guy a poster and tried a couple of variations. Just trying something a little different, find something else that might sell, offer this out to see if anybody else would be interested. Other thing is a topaz experiment to come up with something that you might be able to sell online as some limited edition type of print that people could buy.
I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, that was fooling around in topaz.
Yeah, we're all coming over to your house so we can get you to sign a print of this.
All right, I'm ready. That's all I have for the rodeo stuff. Unless you got some other questions, I don't know if we have time. Maybe I could do it some other time. I have some other phototype work that I do, another 10 or 15 pictures.
Great. These were beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Really good work.
save the others, Alan. I'm sure we'll need some fill-ins in the future anyhow.
Yep.
And this has been pretty fascinating. This is just 1 month of the year for you, though?
No, it usually runs from, let's see, around here it runs from around May until October.
Oh.
There are some events, there are some indoor events, but not too many sanctioned ones.
Mm-hmm.
So are you done for the year now?
Yeah. Actually, this year was a bust. I've not shot a single rodeo this year.
How about indoor rodeos?
There are a few in the area. There's one north of here. Let's see, what's the name of the place? I can't remember off the top of my head. I should have had it written down.
Butler?
Sundance Arena. Sundance Arena. It's north of here, up north of Meadville somewhere. They usually run at least one a month.
Oh, and I didn't hear your answer. Are these professional or these amateur? Because in Canada, if you're a professional, you have to have so many points. Then you get, then you get into higher ranking, and you can make more money. But like the Calgary Stampede is a pro rodeo, and so just because you want to go in there, you can't. You have to have had made so much money and accrued so many points. Is that the same here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
these people compete for points and prize money at each event in their particular association. Some associations will cross recognized points.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, if you qualify for the finals rodeo, there's another event you can go to, and it usually pays a little better.
Is that in like Las Vegas or Houston or something?
The one for the one association I shot for this year was in Charlottesville.
Oh, okay.
One for the other association was out in Oklahoma, I believe.
Nicely done, Polly.
Howdy.
Howdy. I've got all kinds of cowboy hats, but this was the most easily accessible one.
Well, I wore this one for Alan. Does it say rodeo?
Oh, yes.
That's what made me go get my cowgirl hat.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, now we know who's going next summer.
Okay, I might as well join the crew.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Come to Tucson in the winter for the Tucson Rodeo, although it won't be this winter.
Archie, you look like a cowboy.
I got this from an Irish singer who was doing country music CD.
Like Charlie Daniels.
It's almost time for the screenshot here,
I
Archie.
got the fiddle over there too. Yeehaw!
All right.
Woo!
Okay,
Oh.
thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
And
Stop recording.